Welcome back to Village in Motion this Friday, February the 15th. I'm Clint Lambert, and again, I'm the host for this segment of the show. And I have with me Stephanie Rheinheimer, who is one of our social workers, resource communicators. I don't know what all the titles are now with social work, but she's here to talk to us about low vision and some other things, right?
Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, very good.
I will say, I think our official new title is Resident Services Coordinators.
There it is. All right.
Social work is certainly something we will still respond to if you call us down the hallway.
Because all of you are social workers.
We are, yes.
By education.
Currently, all of the social workers here in independent living do have our masters in social work. So that's where obviously the original title came from.
Right.
But we're rolling with the punches with the new one. And we do the same thing no matter what you're going to call us.
Right. Very good. Well, you and I were talking before we came on this segment. There's a lot of people around here that have some low vision.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm one of them, as you can tell. Mm-hmm. Tell me about what's going on with low vision here.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately as we get older, one of the, if you want to say ailments we often will encounter is, low vision. So whether that's just our vision decreases and we can accommodate ourselves with glasses, like you suggested or mentioned you have, or whether it's something a little bit more medically impactful, whether it's macular degeneration, glaucoma, the retina issues you get with diabetes sometimes. And so we have a low vision support group here at Green Spring, and I am the staff person who helps to lead and facilitate it. Okay. And Marcia Boyles is actually my resident co-leader. Okay. And we actually meet every month. We meet usually the first Monday of every month, and it's usually from 2 to 3, and it had been in the Acatink room. But because of all of the repositioning and reconstruction, we have told our group members to be flexible. They get an announcement in their cubby every month with the topic, so they're going to be paying attention to that on where the new location might be each month. And then there is, of course, on the bulletin boards a flyer. So the biggest thing I can say in the year to come is just make sure people are being vigilant about looking about any change of dates and times, just as we're flexible with everything, all of the room changes.
All right. How many people do you currently have with the low vision group?
So our roster, and that is the people who I would provide a flyer to every month, is probably about 55 or so. And certainly I know that is not everyone on campus who has low vision, but those are folks that we have connected with through different events that have gone on or been referred by someone. I would say depending on how interesting the topic is to our residents, we each month will get anywhere between 25 to 45 or 50 people that come to the group. So
very good. Well, the group has been instrumental in getting some changes made around here, right?
Yeah, I have had the fortunate opportunity. Karen Hall, the previous resident life director, gave me the support to actually get in the budget for 2018 some brand new video magnifying machines.
Oh.
And if it's okay with you, I'd like to just talk about those a little bit.
Please do.
And hopefully, I think they have a screen that shows some of the controls. But basically, the 3 machines are located in all of the community buildings. So,
and it's on the screen right now. So
on the screen now, perfect.
Okay.
So the town center one is in the library. The Village Square low vision machine is right outside of the cards room next to the puzzle, and the machine in Hunter's Crossing is right by the piano, and I guess they call it the cards room over there as well. And if people are looking at the screen, there are 3 main functions. So the green button on the far right obviously turns it on, but the 3 buttons, we'll start with the left. It's yellow. It's going to cover the 3 kind of components that are important to individuals with low vision. So the yellow button is brightness of the screen. Okay. So for some folks, having a darker screen might be more beneficial versus a little bit more light, and so they can turn the knob to adjust the lighting. The middle button, which is black with a little red button on it, is going to be the key magnifier button. Okay. So for some folks who are maybe not quite as progressed with their low vision, they can do a lower magnification, But if you really need a strong magnification, really zoomed in, you just turn the dial to the right and that'll get it larger. And then the third button is blue, and that is going to be your contrast button. So for some folks, black letters on a white background is better, or white letters on a black background, color versus not color. And there, I think, excuse me, are about 5 different settings that you, again, turn the knob and it'll change the contrast for you. It adjusts in height, and there's a tray, and basically you just come with whatever material you'd like to read, put it under the screen, and you have a working machine to use.
Wonderful.
So,
and then you can move it around as you need it, right?
yeah, so the tray you put it on actually is movable itself, or you can just move the piece of paper or book to wherever you are wanting to read. And it's a really cool, up-to-date machine that we're very excited to have in the community.
And that's available 7 days a week?
Oh yeah, it's
24/7?
I don't think they close the library, but in all of the common areas, yep, you could go down at 3 a.m. if you wanted to read the bank statements at 3 a.m. Go for it.
Okay. If someone does not have the ability to get down to read, if they need an aid or whatever, let's say in the middle of the night and they want something to read, is there other aids that they can use within their apartments to help them with low vision?
Absolutely. So we have, at least last year, had a bunch of different vendors come to talk about different products and tools you could use. So like you just mentioned, if mobility-wise you're not able to get down to this machine, there's a whole variety of handheld magnifiers, kind of what you think of with like Sherlock Holmes. They have video magnifiers, which are somewhat like the devices in the community buildings, but they're smaller and portable.
Okay.
Even iPads, things like that, have some capability with their camera to be used as a magnifier. So absolutely.
Okay. Do we have any of those different pieces of equipment here that people can check out or anything?
So I know on the flyer, the bulletin boards, they have those hanging magnifiers for people who can't see. In terms of renting a device or something like that, we actually don't. So that's an interesting thing to think about. I might run with that. But I will say in our low vision group, we often will share with each other what's worked for us, what hasn't, so people will either borrow from a friend or go out and buy something that was recommended by a group member. So there's a lot of collaboration and sharing of information for sure.
Because I was thinking if somebody wanted to sit down in the lobby and read as opposed to sitting in front of a machine.
Exactly.
If there's something at the desk that they could check out or whatever.
Right, and that's something I will have to think about, expanding our equipment available for checkout.
Okay, all right. The other thing that I've noticed is that there's been some changes in the coloration, especially in the steps.
Yeah, so I will say I have not been involved at all in terms of the physical community changes, but you're right. I think some of the steps now have color strips at the end to help people identify when it changes to the next step. I know there's some popular responses or positive responses and some negative about the lighting changes, particularly in the town center areas. They're much brighter, which for some folks I think is beneficial, for some folks creates a glare. So you're not going to please everyone, but there are certainly some changes being made. It will be interesting to see with all of the repositioning what sort of considerations they take into account for all of the different challenges our residents might have, low vision, all those sorts of things.
Because I know that at one point in time they were really striving to make sure that all the lighting, the new lighting, met ADA standards.
Exactly, yep. And I know the ADA does guide a lot of the reconstruction, and then I wish I knew if they have any sort of specialist coming in. That might be a question for Lynn Keefe if she ever comes on.
Sounds good. Are you doing any counseling for people with low vision? I mean, anybody with their anxieties about their low vision or how to deal with things? So
that's the beneficial thing with me being a social worker and being the group facilitator. Certainly if there is any emotional impact because of the low vision, which is certainly a thing, anxiety, depression, isolation, myself as the group leader can certainly be a resource, or of course Sue, Frankie, and Elena Keitel, the other IL social workers, would be available as well, and Kathleen Taylor in the medical center. So if there's someone who self-identifies or we feel could benefit from that service, we certainly could provide that that resource.
Okay. Would that be something they would be charged for, or is that something that the community would simply provide? So
any sort of kind of short-term counseling or just really meeting with the 3 independent living social workers, we are thankfully a free service.
Wonderful.
Kathleen Taylor in the medical center, it's an insurance covered service and there might be a copay, but we're all pretty accessible and pretty affordable.
Yeah, I mean, free is good.
Free is good, yes.
But if someone needed your services and wanted your services, they would simply call and make an appointment? We all cover different buildings, so technically you're assigned to a social worker. You
of course, could request to have a different one, but you can call and set up an appointment, or you can have us just walk by, and if we're there, of course, you could come in. But if you want to guarantee we're there, give us a call and we'll set something up.
And who's assigned to which building?
Oh boy, so I am in Town Center, so I have Madison Green, Grove Terrace, Walden Court, and Parkview. Sue Frankie is in Village Square, and Elena Keidel is in Hunters Crossing, and I'm embarrassed to say I might not even be able to name all of the Hunters Crossing and Village Square buildings.
No problem. Well, I know Sue Frankie has Maple Creek.
Maple Creek, Forest View, Connor Terrace,
right.
And then Elena Keidel has Canterbury Square, Crestwood Court, some Maple Creek, so Oak Hill.
Okay. You did a pretty good job on that.
Yeah, I did better than I thought I would.
Is there anything that you would recommend to residents about low vision that we haven't addressed?
Honestly, I would say one of the biggest things, and I'm self-advertising, but really check out our low vision support group. Not only is it a place to find relationships with others who may be experiencing something similar with low vision, it's a great way to learn about different educational topics, research, products. One of the biggest things with low vision sometimes is just isolation, because you feel like you can't see someone's face or whatnot. So the low vision group is a really cool place to make connections and get good information. And then, of course, we can refer out to places where they might get more beneficial information as well on top of what we can provide. So come check us out.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
But you don't know where you'll be meeting any given month, though,
So
right?
I have Dwayne, my community resources partner in Town Center, looking at some rooms now. We possibly will be relocated in Hunters Crossing, but like I said, each flyer and each announcement in the month will tell the location and time and date. So
and you'll have it on Channel 6 on the scroll as
Yes,
well.
I'll make sure that Paulette gets it for the scroll.
Very good. That sounds great.
Yeah.
With what you're doing and with people with low vision, what's the first thing we could do to help ourselves?
If you have low vision,
Yes.
I would say it's hard, but when you are capable to feel comfortable sharing, if you share with friends and family you've got low vision, it allows them to, one, know you've got the challenge, and it allows them to reach out and help. For example, we say, if I've got low vision, I want to make sure you know, so that if I'm walking in the hallway and I don't see you, it's not because I don't like you or don't want to talk to you, it's because I can't see you. And so really just reaching out for support, that's something that person with low vision can do. And then I think just becoming aware of resources and making sure that those are easily accessible are something we can do as a community.
Sounds great. Well, Stephanie, thank you so very much about sharing about low vision, and hope everybody starts reaching out.
I hope so.
Very good. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me.